Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're reviewing a Jeep Wrangler Sport 2-door. Before we get into this video though, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Carl Malone Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Heber City, Utah for giving me some time with this Wrangler. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Josh. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 285 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, pretty simplistic with the design. It just kind of slowly raises up as you go towards the windshield. Now, being a baseline Wrangler, right, we've got the entry-level turn signals and then halogen headlights, and then you guys can see Jeep's signature front grille, but we still get these cool tow hooks here on the front end, and then you got fog lights here on the bumper. And putting it all together, I think that the Sport looks really cool. Again, it still has the Wrangler's iconic look. Come around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 245, 75, 17 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see here with the wheels, again, pretty simplistic with the design to go with the simplistic vehicle. And then look how big the fender flares are. It's just a Wrangler thing, right? And then you got the Jeep logo down the side. I like how that's darker. And then obviously, two-door. Now, sorry, this camera view is horrible, but one thing that sets the Wrangler apart from other vehicles is solid front axle. And yes, the Wrangler also has a solid rear axle, but here is your full side view. You guys can see this is a hard top as well. So here's our key fob. We have our unlock function, our lock function, remote start, and then you've got the Jeep logo there on the back, and of course the flip out key fob as well. And being a hard top means that, well, of course we got the normal tailgate, which we'll always have, but we've got the window that you can just plop up, and then you can access the trunk. Now with the two-door, it is pretty limited with the storage space behind the seats there on the back, but you can fold down the seats if you want for extra storage. And then you guys can see the roll cage here inside, pretty cool. And then as always, you do the window first, and then we do the little tailgate second. So we got the more baseline taillights here, and then you guys can see the spare tire on the back. And we got the recovery hook here at the bottom. And putting it all together, again, I really like the look of this. All you have to do is just add more aggressive all-terrain tires to those wheels, and this thing would look pretty cool. Now this is the front door panel, well, the only door panel, right, other than the one on the passenger side. Anyways, you got the padding here, you got your netting down below for storage, you got your mirror adjustments, and then there's the mirrors themselves. Now getting in the back is pretty simple. You just pull this latch here on the front seat, and then you can just pull the seat forward, and then that gives you this little access area. Well, here is legroom in the back of the two-door Wrangler. Once you're back here, it's actually pretty nice, and they actually bring the carpeting all the way up. And look at this! We got a really nice view here in the back. We get vents back here, unlike the Bronco. You got cup holders down below. And then for those of you wondering here, the cloth seats in the rear. And then, header back here is good. Also, yeah, a little bit of a tight squeeze to get out. And then here's the front seat. You guys can see again with the cloth trim that goes all down the center. All of your adjustments here on the side, they are all manual, of course. And then we've got our light controls right here with the fog light action, and then the steering wheel is manually adjustable. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see really nice trim all around. You've got darker stitching there in the center. I actually have radio controls in the back, cruise control, got your controls for the center stack, voice command controls as well, and then the regular stocks on the back. So here's our center gauge cluster. As you can see, you got the RPMs on the one side, speed on the other side, and then we have the screen here in the center, which gives us information like our fuel economy, for example, the off-road information as well. Now I've got a regular backup camera here in the center. Trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel are integrated with that camera as well. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, response time's really good. We got heated seats, heated steering wheel, and yeah, overall function, I like the screen's fantastic. It does come with the off-road pages and got navigation with this one on top of that. Of course, got all the circular vents here on the dash, and then look at the gray trim right there. And even this, for a base model, looks pretty nice. And then up here as well, pretty nice too. Moving on, you guys can see you've got analog controls here for the radio, for the climate, dual zone climate in this one. Again, heated seats, heated steering wheel, got your off-road cruise control, window controls in the center, and then we got a little USB area, 12 volt, and then 4 auxiliary switches there, and then a driveline select. So even though this doesn't have lockers or anything, it still has solid axles and 4-wheel drive as well as 4-wheel low. And then you got your shifter for the 8-speed automatic. Couple cup holders here with the parking brake, and then nice padding on the center console. Good storage space inside. You got some USB action. Got the grab handle in the glove box, and then the glove box itself. And then at the very top, no insulation here, but we do have all these little latches to take off the front portion. The back, you do have to use some tools. So here's a window sticker for this Sport. Yes, this is a Sport S, so I guess it's technically not a base model. But anyways, base MSRP $31,000 to $195. So that's actually pretty dang affordable. And then you can see you get quite a bit with that. But yes, this has the S package, so $3,200 for that if you want those items. Again, just look at all these add-ons and understand that, like, you can order one and not have to get all the stuff that this has. And then, yeah, air conditioning. I definitely recommend getting that $1,000 option that comes with, that's for sure. But you can see the trailer tow group, the infotainment system. It all kind of adds up. The 8-speed automatic transmission, that is the expensive part. So if you get a manual, you save yourself quite a bit of money. And then anyways, after all options, this one stickers for $49,775. A little bit more than the base price, but anyways, let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors, with the rest of the rear, and Lego, I suppose is what we will say. But 2-door Sport with the V6. This is such an iconic vehicle for the affordability of it. And if you guys follow the channel, you know that I have a Rubicon 392. I've owned that since the beginning of 2022. But I can still appreciate this. Like, as a Wrangler owner, I can still appreciate the more entry-level Wranglers. First off, I actually like the steering more on the 2-door than any other, and this 2-door with the V6 and everything, more than probably any other Wrangler. It still has, you know, a little bit of on-center deadness and vagueness, but it's actually not, it's not too bad at all. And then ride quality is actually pretty good. Now with the 2-door, it's not gonna be as good as the 4-door because you have a shorter wheelbase, so it's gonna be a little bit bumpier. But overall, it's the damping and everything is pretty well tuned. That's what I would call it. And then yeah, it's so like light and small, so the braking feels so strong on this. And the engine feels strong too. Those V6, like in the bigger Wranglers, especially when you put, you know, 33s and 35s on them, it starts to feel a little lethargic. But with these smaller tires and with a smaller Jeep, it actually doesn't feel too bad. Yeah, so smooth. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. So to sum things up here with the 2-door Sport S, $50,000 basically for a quote-unquote baseline Wrangler. Obviously you could make this way more baseline than this particular one is, as we went over the window sticker. But you know, I think that as I've reviewed like more cars, and I guess as I've matured as a car enthusiast is what you might call it, I've come to appreciate baseline vehicles way more than I used to in the past. Like in the past, I'd be like, oh, I want the fully loaded one with this and that. But now it's like, you get the fully loaded one, you spend a lot more money on it, and then half the options, you don't even use them on a daily basis. It's like, oh, you have this fancy sunroof. It looks like that's blocked there. You have this fancy sunroof and this and that, and yeah, you use it like once a year, and it's like, oh, I paid $2,000 for that. Oh, looks like that's moving. See, look, that's another Jeep Wrangler. It's the Honda Wrangler. Get it? Anyways, so the point I'm trying to make is, I don't know, I appreciate these more baseline packages a lot more now because it has all the stuff that you need and none of the stuff that you don't need. And so let me know what you guys think about this Sport, and let me know how you'd option out a Sport. I think that for me, if I was going to do a Sport, I would probably, let's quickly look at this again. So manual transmission, so that saves me a lot of money there. I still do the hard top because I always like that. It's a Wrangler. Who cares about the infotainment system and all of that? So take that out. Heated seats, those are nice to have in the winter. Air conditioning, that's nice to have here in Utah. So, and then, yeah, the keyless entry and everything, take that away. So, I mean, I feel like how I would spec this out, I mean, I could be in the mid $30,000 range easily. Very easily. And I think it'd be a great vehicle. You could daily drive it, have tons of fun with it. But let me know what you guys think about this.